Opportunity.
I call the member for Redlands.
Mr Deputy Speaker, I rise proudly today to speak to the estimates reports tabled by the Economics and Governance Committee, this being in regards to the Appropriations Bill 2018. I want to thank my colleagues of the Economics and Governance Committee, chaired by the member for Logan, and the committee staff. This is my first opportunity to participate in the estimates hearing process, overseeing the budgets of the Speaker of the House, the Premier and Minister for Trade, the Deputy Premier, Treasurer and Minister for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Partnerships, and the Minister for Local Government, Racing and Multicultural Affairs. We heard from the Speaker of the House and the Clerk of the Parliament on the 150-year celebrations of Parliament House, and can I take this opportunity to congratulate them on the fabulous array of events and connections with our community that has made this celebration something all Queenslanders could get involved with. The estimates process was indeed a great opportunity to interrogate the budget and to hear again about the great achievements of this budget by the Palaszczuk Labor government. It was an opportunity to learn in detail about Queensland's really strong economic position under this government and the strategies for growth and prosperity into the future that this budget will deliver for all Queenslanders. The estimates process highlighted that this budget is focused on investing in Queensland services and investing in Queensland jobs. The Palaszczuk government has demonstrated success with a strong track record in creating jobs, with over 162,000 created since being elected. We know that there is dignity in employment. The budget and estimates process outlined the opportunities that will continue to create jobs and continue to position Queensland for success now and into the future. Our government is creating jobs through record investment of $45 billion in infrastructure over 4 years, as the budget highlights, supporting 38,000 jobs. Mr Speaker, this budget commits to significant projects like Cross River Rail, and we know projects like Cross River Rail will unlock South East Queensland and unlock opportunities in more ways than we are yet to imagine, along rail corridors that not only provide vital transport solutions but open up new opportunities for these transport precincts. We heard how this budget will continue to serve and deliver for all Queenslanders on matters that are critical to our state's future, like record investment of $17.3 billion in health and $14.1 billion in education and training. Then there is the $650 million in the Advanced Queensland initiatives that have and will continue to deliver for Queenslanders through innovation and programs that are designed to ensure we create the jobs of the future and are competitive on a global stage. This, Mr Speaker, is in stark contrast to the budget delivered to Queenslanders under Malcolm Turnbull and the federal LNP government, where they're ripping off Queenslanders in delivering our fair share of GST, they're ripping off Queenslanders in delivering our fair share of funding for nation-building infrastructure like Cross River Rail, they're ripping Queenslanders off in providing our fair share of health funding services and for our hospitals, and particularly in programs like the National Dental Health Partnership, with 30% being cut from this program, and I know what an impact that's had in my area. Ripping off our trainees and apprentices in funding cuts, and most disappointingly, ripping off our First Nations people by failing to renew the national partnerships around remote and Indigenous housing. This is a shame. And what makes this worse, that this is all the while rewarding big banks with a gift of $17 billion and delivering unprecedented tax cuts for the top end of town. Mr Speaker, I'm proud to be part of the Palaszczuk Labor government that is delivering for Queenslanders, and it is very clear that our budget commits to infrastructure. It commits to trade, tourism, health, education and, importantly, supporting great initiatives within our communities, like the Breakfast program. We are one of the fastest growing and the most decentralised states in the Commonwealth, and we recently welcomed our 5 millionth Queenslander way ahead of schedule. Queensland is growing and Queensland is changing. Through this estimates process, it is clear that the budget responds to the challenges we face and it harnesses the opportunities that both growth and change present. Mr Speaker, our government is focused on positioning for a prosperous future for all Queenslanders. I commend the report to the House.
I call the member for Warrego.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I rise to